Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Daniel Weichman. An explosion occurred Friday evening at the R.M. Palmer Company in West Reading, where multiple were left dead and several are still missing. The death toll rose on Sunday, according to West Reading Borough Chief of Police, where the discovery of a fifth body at the site, along with the sixth and seventh bodies that were recovered that day. Representatives from the county stated that one person was rescued alive on Friday night, while 8 people were hospitalized from the blast. Rescue crews have been using heat imaging equipment and dogs to search for possible survivors within the rubble. State and local fire investigators are continuing to examine the scene to try to determine the cause of the blast. In other local news, a 3-vehicle accident occurred on Friday, March 24th, just after 1 p.m. in Hometown. The accident involved a Chevy Blazer, Ford Focus, and an 18-wheeler on 141 Claremont Avenue. One female victim was taken from the scene to the local hospital for treatment. At this time, there is no further update on the crash in Schuylkill County. 2 Lehighton men are facing charges for allegedly stealing aluminum gutters. According to West Penn Township Police, Michael Thomas Everett and Travis Noel Everett stole over $500 worth of aluminum gutters from Patriot Seamless Gutters and scrapped them for money. The pair have been charged with theft, receiving stolen property, and criminal conspiracy. The Everetts were arrested on March 7th and released after posting bail. Police are attempting to identify a U-Haul truck driver following a hit and run at the Dunkin' Donuts in Wilkes-Barre. According to police, the driver struck a building, causing damage, and then fled southbound. Anyone with information regarding the man's identity is asked to call Wilkes-Barre Police at 570-208-4635. A multi-home fire in Sunbury displaced 11 people on Sunday. Fire officials state that the flames damaged 2 duplexes on Miller Street, affecting 4 homes. 8 fire departments from the surrounding area responded to the scene, but the cause of the fire is still under investigation. 2 people were transported to the hospital with unknown injuries. Police are looking for a man who has been charged with retail theft and driving without a license. Thomas Kress is described as 5 feet 8 inches tall and 215 pounds. His last known address is 845 Coxon Road in Duryea, and he drives a 2021 white Ram truck. Anyone with information regarding Kress's location can contact the Wilkes-Barre Police at 570-208-4635. The Luzerne County Council will be voting to award American Rescue Plan Act funding grants on Tuesday. The council has decided to award full funding to the 77 of the applications received and partial funding to the 36 of the applications. Only the applications receiving full funding will be voted on at the meeting on Tuesday. The council is also scheduled to vote on the proposed settlement of a lawsuit brought by the estate of a woman who died by suicide while being held at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility. The meeting will be held at the Luzerne County Courthouse at 6 p.m. The Luzerne County Council member, Tim McGinley, will be stepping down at the end of the year after 12 years on the council. McGinley is currently the only Democrat on the council, but is no longer eligible for re-election due to the council's limit of 3 consecutive terms. Instead, McGinley is turning to Wyoming Valley West, hoping for a spot on their school board. McGinley states that his extensive background in education as a science teacher, wrestling coach, and administrator will make him a good fit for the position. A Sheets in Plains Township is holding an event on Wednesday with the hopes of hiring nearly 50 employees. According to Sheets, the event will run from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Plains Township location. Prospective employees must apply online prior to attending. The event will feature on-the-spot interviews and additional information about opportunities at Sheets. Coming up on WYLN News, the Flying Aces in Carbon County held their monthly fundraiser over the weekend for a family in need. Plus, Easter is almost here, and Hazleton celebrated with an egg hunt. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast, brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and tomorrow's WYLN forecast is partly cloudy.
want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Struggling to get a good night's sleep? Then look no further. Grand Central is here to help. Grand Central Sealy experts will set you straight. When you buy your mattress at Grand Central, you can expect free delivery and setup, free removal of the old unit, and interest-free financing for up to 60 months. And of course, Grand Central's everyday low prices. Grand Central in Hazleton, helping you make your house a home.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Welcome back to WYLN News.
Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1, go!
Easter is right around the corner, and the Hazleton Parks and Recreation put on an egg hunt over the weekend to celebrate.
I mean, I think it's a really fantastic event because it brings the whole community together in one space, and it's supported by members of the community. So different businesses will come out and they donate the candy to give to the children, and then sometimes they can market things about themselves too. So it really gets some information out as well as the sweet stuff for the kids.
Children from the local community were able to hunt for eggs, pet alpacas, and even meet the Easter Bunny. Over 800 children attended the Easter Walk, where local departments and organizations were able to give out candy and treats to the visitors. From coloring books to candy, as per the Easter spirit, it was a huge turnout for the community.
It's great. It's a great opportunity for the public to come out and have a chance to interact with, the first responders and other people of the community. So it's just a great way to become part of everything.
Hazleton is a bustling city, and with events such as these, it's okay if you missed it this time. There's way more on the horizon for you to dip your toes into.
Well, we have some concerts in the park that are coming up in June and July. One of our biggest events of the year is the 4th of July celebration, which is happening on the 1st. It's on a Saturday. That's here at City View Park. And the 2 Fridays, the Friday before that and the Friday after that, we have concerts in the park here at City View. So that's going to be fun. We'll have these amazing bands, and then we're going to have some vendors, and we're going to have people out there. So it's just going to be a fun time for the community.
Lent is wrapping up. With March's end on the horizon, local fire companies continue to keep their grill hot and the orders flying out the window. And the Lehigh and Lausanne Rural Fire Company in Carbon County is doing just that.
For the Lent event this year, for the entire month of March, we're doing every Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. and we're asking for pre-orders, but walk-ins are welcome. And we change our menu every week. Now next week we're going to have unbaked pizzas again, and we're going to have halushki, pierogies, homemade macaroni and cheese, and potato cakes.
Lehigh and Lausanne Fire Company is a total nonprofit and all-volunteer organization that keeps their doors open through the art of fundraising. They assist other emergency personnel and are able to do so thanks to the kindness of the community, and are there for you when you most need it. As the end of March is on Friday, Lehigh and Lausanne will be holding one more Lent fundraiser, so if you're looking for some good food to fill your tummies, feel free to stop by 390 South Lehigh Gorge Drive in Weatherly. No kind act is too small or too large, and the Flying Aces know all about helping those that are down on hard times. Every last Sunday of the month, the Flying Aces hold a benefit breakfast for those in need, and this Sunday, they helped out a local family that had fallen on hard times since August of last year. With brain surgery, the loss of a home, and rehabilitation under their belt, the Flying Aces reached out to hold a donation in their name. Their turnout was immense. From 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., local citizens took part in the breakfast by chowing down and having some good food on this sunny spring day. On March 30th, the Luzerne County Historical Society will be hosting a presentation discussing the life and work of Ellen Webster Palmer and the Breaker Boys of Wyoming Valley. Palmer famously founded the Boys Industrial Association, an organization that fought against child labor in the coal mines. Andrea Lowry, the executive director of the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission, will be presenting the lecture in the Society's museum building at 7 p.m. Coming up on Whitehaven's News Choice, Marty Burns starts off our week with Let's Talk Sports. Plus, a benefit was held over the weekend for a local police officer who was diagnosed with cancer. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on Wyln TV.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central here to ask you, is your kitchen ready for an overhaul? We offer free in-home consultation and design, no interest financing, professional removal and installation, countertop and backsplashes, hardwood and laminate floors, kitchen appliance sales, service and installation, and of course, everyday low prices. Grand Central in Hazleton, helping you make your house a home.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
¿Está buscando las últimas noticias y eventos locales importantes para nuestra comunidad hispana? WYLN le mantendrá al día de todo local en nuestro nuevo webcast diario en español, Telediario de WYLN, conmigo, Julia Regent. Siga nuestras páginas de medios sociales y sitio web en WYLNTV.com todos los días para acceso al telediario de WYLN a partir que se emitirá próximamente. WYLN, somos tu red local.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Tune in for the next episode of Let's Talk Chiropractic, where we talk about what happens when you lose your healthy spine and your spine starts to curve the wrong way.
Welcome to a Monday edition of Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, and just some thoughts on the recently completed World Baseball Classic. And I like to think that sometimes the United States has some of the most passionate fans. I'm always biased toward the Philadelphia sports fan, but I peeked in on some of those games that were played outside the country, and we start with the fans of Team China. they were playing Korea, and they have people chanting and playing music, singing songs. They even have cheerleaders on the dugouts, and they're all into it. And problem was their team was losing 22-2 and ended up losing at that exact score, but they stayed into it the whole time. I give them all the credit in the world. I mean, I would have stuck with one of my teams and watched 22-2, but I don't know if I would have been up and chanting and singing. There might have been other words coming out of my mouth at that particular point in time, but give them all the credit. And it was amazing seeing how distraught they were, seeing their team lose, but they were behind them the whole way. And the other team was the fans of Team Japan at the Tokyo Dome. You saw those fans, they bring drums in and they sing or they chant. I'm not really sure because everybody knows I have trouble with English, so my Japanese isn't too good, but they would get into it, and then the ball would go into play and they just go into complete silence and see what would happen. And it was ironic seeing one of the Japanese players hit a home run and just see them explode with ecstasy, and seeing their Team Japan make it to the World Baseball Classic medal round, if you will. So Team Japan was very well represented by their fans before they head to the U.S. and played in Miami. And Bryce Harper, a player who missed out playing for Team USA because of his Tommy John surgery, talked about how he missed playing and talked about the possibility of doing like maybe hockey and halting the season and getting them to play in the Summer Olympics. And I find that very hard to do. I mean, it's really hard to call this a tournament when there's so many pitching restrictions, and it's really hard to see how baseball would be able to pull that off in the middle of a season, because teams would be very, very apprehensive to give up some of their players, especially the pitching. If you're going to go all out in an Olympic tournament and use guys that maybe their teams wouldn't want them to be used, and then if you put the pitching breakdowns on these pitchers, it sort of waters down the competition. So it really handicaps the teams, especially when you're taking major league players to participate in the Olympics. I understand what he means. Wants to represent his country. Nothing quite like putting, that USA across your chest. But I just find it hard to believe that you'd be able to get an Olympics in the midst of a Major League Baseball season. But some interesting thoughts on the World Baseball Classic. We'll be back with more as we get closer and closer to opening day of the Major League Baseball season. Thanks for joining us tonight for another edition of Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Are you looking for the latest local news and events important to our Hispanic community? WYLN will keep you up to date on what's happening, from breaking news to special reports and local events, on our new daily Spanish language webcast, WYLN's Telediario, featuring me, Julia Wiegand. Follow our social media pages and website at WYLNTV.com every day to access WYLN's Telediario webcast. WYLN, we're your local network.
Get ready for the ultimate sports breakdown with Marty Burns on Let's Talk Sports. Every day during WYLN News, Marty brings you the latest news and analysis on your favorite teams and players. From the biggest games to the latest trades, he's got you covered. So tune in daily to Let's Talk Sports and get in the game with Marty Burns.
Life has a way of surprising you. Hills can turn into mountains, and those mountains may become too steep to climb alone. And that was the instance that Mary Beth Elias found herself recently, where she reached out for help. The community then reached back in the form of a benefit for Elias that was held over the weekend at the Tap in Humboldt. Mary Beth Elias had recently been diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer, and a battle began for her where she hadn't found herself standing alone in the fight.
When Mary Beth found out that she was diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer was when everybody knew that it was time to come together and give back to her. She does anything and everything for anybody. She is the sweetest woman, so she deserves everything she could get in return.
The benefit began at 2 p.m. and ran until 7 p.m., where the establishment was full from beginning to end with friends of Mary Beth and those that had been affected by her kindness and selflessness.
We knew it was going to be a good turnout. However, I am just blown away by the number of people that are here to support her. I just want to tell Mary Beth that we love you and we're here for you, and stay strong. You're not alone, and you have so many people who care and support you.
Over 500 people came to the benefit over the weekend in support of Mary Beth, and the kindness that was given towards her was felt like ripples in an ocean.
I was overwhelmed with the turnout, and so happy to be a part of it. We all love Mary Beth, and this is why we're here. You know what? Some people are too proud to open up and say, I need help, but it's never too late, and you should never be. You should always reach out. It's only human to help someone else.
Humans have a strange way of connecting and coming together for unfortunate circumstances. We fall, and sometimes we can't get up without help, and that's okay. We all need a hand sometimes, and despite it all, Mary Beth was given hundreds of hands to keep her standing, despite the odds.
And this whole event is totally amazing. All the people that came out to support me, I can't believe it, I really can't. And I love them all, thank you.
Welcome to Community and You, and Colleen Garrison is joining us today. And Colleen, you have a very interesting and wonderful program, Foster Grandparents. Tell us about that.
Yes, thank you, Paula. The Foster Grandparent Program, which is in its 57th year, by the way, is a program that matches seniors over the age of 55 with schools and then children in those schools who are at risk or who need special attention as far as literacy or math skills or just social skills.
How does that work?
So the foster grandparent would contact me if they want to be involved. We go through a screening process. We do background checks on each individual volunteer, and then they tell me what school they would like to be placed at. Usually it's very close to their home. Some people walk to the school because the school is so close. They tell me what age group they'd like to be with. Some want to be with babies, some want to be with preschoolers, some with kindergarten kids. They just tell me, and then I match them up with a teacher who needs a foster grandparent, because the role of the foster grandparent is to assist the teacher in helping the students learn more about the activity or the reading assignment that the teacher has presented.
In the classroom?
In the classroom, yes.
Wow.
Yes, so it's like the foster parent and the student would have a one-on-one relationship in the classroom where that child knows that he or she can go to the foster grandparent for help if they need assistance with anything that they're working on in the classroom.
And do they come at a certain time during class, like once a week, twice a week? How would you determine that?
So the volunteer, we can actually allow them to work as little as 5 hours or as many as 40 hours.
Oh.
So it's entirely up to the volunteer, depending on their calendar and what appointments they have and things like that. And they work that out with the teacher, and they tell the teacher, I can be here these days at this time. And the teacher always loves to have the foster grandparents in the classroom. And the kids love to see when their grandma or grandpa comes in. Their eyes light up and they run over to them. It's just fabulous.
And how do the children's family work around this then? They must know that they have this contact.
Right. So the families are informed by the teachers that there is a foster grandparent in the classroom, and the foster grandparent is working with your son or daughter. And usually, we've never had any complaints by any parents with extracurricular help for their children.
Wow. And when we're talking about the foster grandparent program, you said 55?
Yes. 55 or older. There is an income guideline. AmeriCorps Seniors is the one who funds the program, and they set the income guidelines no more than 200% of the national poverty level, which is around $27,000 for one individual. But what we do is we take that income, say you make $31,000.
Right.
We will look at your medical expenses and your health care premiums and things like that, and we will deduct that from your income to see if you meet the guideline.
And that's for the foster grandparent?
That's for the foster grandparent.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Now the children, they could be matched with any child. The children's income, the household income does not matter as far as this program goes.
How many do you suppose, because I know you're in Luzerne and Wyoming counties,
Yes.
So about how many foster grandparents do you think that you're dealing with right now?
Right now, we have about 76 foster grandparents. Most of them are in the Luzerne County. We are expanding into Wyoming County. We have a few. But here in Hazelton, we have 16 foster grandparents, and they go into Head Start locations, Child Development Council centers, and the elementary schools.
So if you are interested in the program and you're thinking, oh, well, I don't know any kids anymore, mine are all gone.
Yeah.
Would you have a suggestion for them where they might fit in?
Oh, definitely. So what happens is the teachers, too, will call me and say, I really need a foster grandma.
Wow.
Please send one to me when you have one. So that's my role, is to, link up the foster grandparent with a school and with a teacher.
Well, I'm sure you can always use more.
Oh, yes, and that's why we're asking now,
Okay.
if you're interested.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you
Yes.
look right into that camera,
Thank you.
you tell them how to get in touch with you, you tell them all the good stuff, Colleen.
Thank you, Paula. So, again, my name is Colleen Garrison. I'm the director of the Foster Grandparent Program for Luzerne and Wyoming counties. My phone number is 570-961-1950. You can also email me at c.garrison@telespond.org. And there's also a website. It's www.telespond.org.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to hear more from you.
Yes, definitely.
Soon
Definitely.
on Community and You. All
Thank you, Paula.
And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our Facebook, YouTube, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.